So now we will continue with the second part of our chapter, Journey to the End of the Earth. So in our previous video, that is the first session, we have understood the itinerary of Tishani Doshi's journey to Antarctica. Then we have understood the existence of supercontinent Gondwana and how it got separated into the several continents that we have in today's global map. Then we have also understood how Antarctica provides, or Antarctica has, a diversity in its flora and fauna. You can find the smallest of of the creatures to the largest of the creatures. Okay, smallest being midge and the mite, and the largest being blue whales and icebergs. And it has an all-time silence, and occasionally, the sounds of glaciers melting or sounds of snow slides, that is avalanche, can be heard. However, the this part ends with a warning that for human beings the prognosis is not good. Okay, now let us see the human impact. This is very important for your boards as well. Okay, human civilization have been around for a paltry 12,000 years. Now, this is very important. If we think about the geological clock, okay, then these 12,000 years, this does not mean a huge time. It is barely a few seconds. You can understand how, because we have been reading about the genesis of our planet, right? The past, the extreme past of our planet, where there were before dinosaurs, right? That is, Gondwana was there, and what are the changes that have taken place before the human existence. The moment human beings started their existence on this planet, that is hardly 12,000 years, right? And that is, if we consider metaphorically the entire clock as a geological clock, the entire clock of Earth's existence, then this human existence has been there for just a few seconds. But in that short amount of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus, etching our dominance over nature with our villages, towns, cities, megacities. Now, the writer is saying that within that short amount of time, it is just like a fraction of second, fraction of time, right? But human existence, because of human existence, Earth has had its worst. Okay, we have been trying, and we are trying to dominate nature with our infrastructural development, with our houses, villages, towns, cities, metros, etc. Right? The rapid increase of human population has left us battling with other species for limited resources. This is so relatable in today's time. We all know about the water shortage that is happening all around, right? So, rapid increase of human populations, now we are fighting with one another for the limited resources. Okay, the unmitigated burning of fossil fuels has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. We all know how burning of fossil fuels have contributed to the ozone layer depletion, and eventually to the rising of the global temperature. Climate change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. Okay, students can very well relate to this. If you get any poster making competition, speech competition, article writing, anything related to environment, climate change, and global warming, these two are the recurring topics that you encounter, right? What are the are the most popular questions? Will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Will it be the end of the world as we know it? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, Whatever be the case, this entire part is the most important question. Okay, I am not saying one of the most important questions. I am saying this is the most important question of your from this chapter pertaining to your boards. Question is asked: why is Antarctica a crucial element to study climate change? Simple. This can come for a 2 mark question, this can come for a 5 mark question. Okay, so Tishani Doshi says that Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate, not just because of its place in the world. So why is Antarctica crucial in the debate of climate change? First reason, because it has never sustained human population and therefore remains relatively supreme. Okay, and therefore remains relatively supreme. This is the first reason that you have to write. First reason, Antarctica is crucial to the Antarctica is crucial to study the climate change because of two reasons. First, Antarctica has never sustained a human population and hence relatively remains pristine in this respect. Pristine means pure. Now, what does it mean? That Antarctica has not seen human interference like the other continents, right? And hence, if you have to study something organic, something pure, then you should go to the purest, you should reach the purest form, right? And to reach the purest form, Antarctica is the best place because it has never seen human population or never sustained human population. This is the first reason that you will write. The second reason is, but more importantly, it holds in its ice cores half million year old carbon records trapped in its layers of ice. If we want to study and examine Earth's past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go. Hence, it is very important. Okay, so the second point says that Antarctica has been there for so many millions and millions of years, hundreds and hundreds of years, that the ice sheets, the ice cores, the deepest layer of ice cores holds so, so old, okay, half million year old carbon records. Now that carbon can be studied and can be studied to understand the genesis, the perception of our planet, Earth's past, how it was at that time, how it graduated to this state, and what could be the future repercussions of our civilization. That is why Antarctica is the crucial element of study for the climate change. Alright, please write both these reasons if you have to score the full marks. Okay. Now the writer talks about why the guide, that is the professor Geoff Green, took the students out on this expedition. Okay, the name of the program is Students on Ice. This is the name of the excursion program. The Students on Ice, the program I was working with on Shokalski, aims to do exactly this. This means what? Study Antarctica by taking high school students. So he has taken high school students to the ends of the world. So he has taken students who are in the Indian context, is perhaps studying in class 11 or 12, right? You can understand. And why has he taken them? To provide them with inspirational educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. He wanted these young minds to see with their own eyes what is happening to our planet. Hence, he takes them to the Antarctica. Okay. It has been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Green. It means the expedition. Okay. Now, what is? Let us have a quick history of this program. Okay, now this program, this expedition program, that is Geoff Green had been taking people to Antarctica. Geoff Green had been trying to make people aware of the changes going on in Antarctica. But recently he got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. So why did he take the students? He took the students because first reason, he got tired of the retired old people or the celebrities who would sit in their comfort zone and uh, passively engage with the climate change topic. Instead, he decided to take the future generation. This is again one of the most important questions. He offers the future generation of policymakers a life changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. If you want to score the full marks while answering the questions, you should use these words: absorb, learn, and most importantly act. Why did he take the young generation? Because they are the future generation of policymakers. They will be able to, their decisions, their policies uh, will be driven by the experience that they are having now. They will try to act upon actively on the global warming, on the Antarctica's importance of Antarctica. And that is why he takes the future generation of policy. Maybe he takes the students because they are the future generation of policymakers. They are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly act, because they are very young, they have fresh minds. All of you, this is applicable to all of you. Why is this story so important and impactful, should be impactful? We should be taking care of the small things in our lives. If you think that, ma'am, it is not possible for us to do this because nobody is going to take us to Antarctica, maximum they will take us to the nearest heritage site or something. No problem. Along with that, the smaller things that you can do at your individual level. What is that? Switching off the light when not in use. While you are brushing your teeth, you can switch off the tap and not waste the water, right? You can simply, whenever you were eating a fruit, okay, it can be lychee, it can be mango. Now it is summer season, all of us know this, right? Lychee, mango, these are very jamun. You can instead of throwing the seed, you can specifically plant it somewhere, take your parents help and plant it somewhere. So these are the individual contributions. Instead of using the plastic, you carry your own bags, cloth bags, right? Instead of mindless shopping, you can reuse and recycle the things. These are the small individual acts which, if combined together, will be impactful towards the global climate as well, right? Because all these small things are interconnected. Coming to the next part, the reason the program has been so successful is because it is impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. So anybody, okay, for example, a non-believer of global warming, suppose a person who is in denial that there is nothing happening, there is absolutely no climate issue, all these things, even that person is bound to be affected when they go near the South Pole. It is easy to blaze about polar ice caps melting while sitting in the comfort zone of a respective latitude and longitude. But when you can visibly see the glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real, very important. Okay? Now coming to phytoplanktons. This is Antarctica. Why Antarctica? This is the question. Why Antarctica is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Now, see, CBSE might confuse you by asking why is Antarctica the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. The moment you read this part, perfect place to study, you will go back to the previous part, perfect place to study Earth's climate, because Earth's past, present, and future. So there are 2 points. Antarctica is the perfect place to study Earth's past, present, and future because number one, it had been pristine and pure with no human interference at all. And second reason, half a million year old carbon records are trapped in its ice sheets, right? Second question is, why is Antarctica the perfect place to study how little things can affect at large? Okay, let us take the example of phytoplankton. Take the microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire southern ocean. Now, phytoplankton, I have shown you the picture in our previous video. You can see that is the microscopic things, the organisms, and those are the most crucial thing to to balance the entire ecosystem, marine ecosystem of southern ocean. So you can imagine the smallest things can have big repercussions. How is this important? Phytoplanktons, what is the important contribution? These single celled plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important processes of photosynthesis. Right? So, we all know they take the sunlight and assimilate them, they take the sun's energy, then form to assimilate carbon, and then with the help of photosynthesis they change, right? However, why is this so important? Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton. Now, ozone layer depletion affect the sun's energy. The sun's energy effect on the sun's energy will affect the process of photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis will affect the activity of phytoplankton. And if the phytoplanktons are the cycle of phytoplanktons are is disturbed, then the entire marine ecosystem collapses. That is why the writer says will affect the activities of phytoplanktons, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. And that is why the another very important question, in the parable of the phytoplankton, parable means in this story there is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things, the big things will fall into its place. That means if the phytoplanktons are taken care of, the entire marine ecosystem sustains, and hence the entire global climate sustains, because that constitutes the Antarctica's system, right? Biosystem. Coming to the last part, my Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies. Epiphanies means, sudden realization. Okay, sudden realization. But the best occurred just short of Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. The Shokalski had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch. This is the first picture. Remember the first picture that I had shown of the Russian vessel Academic Shokalski. So it has reached the ice mass of Antarctica, and now it cannot go further because it is so thick. The stretch of ice is so thick, right? So the captain decided we were going to turn around. So the captain decided that they are going to turn the ship around and go back to the north. But he wanted the students to walk on the ice mass. But before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gang plank, that is the wooden plank uh, which is used to go to at a certain location from the ship directly, right? And walk on the ocean. Now, ocean, of course, this frozen ocean. There were in total 52 students kitted out in Gore-Tex and glares. Gore-Tex, this is the outfit. Of course, the normal outfit will not be able to hold the temperature, the minus temperature there, right? So they were kitted. The kit, the equipments, the toolkit, the outfit, the cap, the glares means the sunglasses, all these things, they were well equipped with all these things, okay? And they started walking on stark whiteness that seemed to spread forever. She could see, this is very important, she could see underneath our feet was a meter thick ice pack. So, okay, so 1 meter thick ice is there beneath their feet, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing fresh water. So, how important Antarctica is. Okay, there is 180 meters of living, breathing fresh water. In the periphery, these are the fauna she could see. Crab eater seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice floes, much like stray dogs do under the shade of banyan tree. So, just like our stray dogs take the sun sitting under the banyan tree in our places, in our localities, similarly that kind of ordinary activity is a crab eater seal stretching and sunning themselves on the ice flock, okay? It was nothing short of a revelation. This is the epiphany. Everything does indeed connect. That means everything is connected. Whatever you are doing at this time, if you are using a plastic bottle for drinking the water, that is affecting. Okay, coming to the last part. 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, and three bodies of water, and as many ecospheres later, I was still wondering about the beauty of balance in play on our planet. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will we be around to see it? Would we have gone the way of the dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? Who is to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. This day that she is talking about, every revelation, every realization that we have, okay, which contributes to the betterment of society, both environmentally and socially, is required. We should not wait for the larger things to happen, macro things to happen. We should be humble, and we should be active enough to to give our individual contribution. Forget about what others are doing. Let us forget about what the people in power are doing. But what am I doing? That is the most important. When you get into your school, do you see a chocolate wrapper uh, just thrown on the street? Do you take that and put it into the dustbin? If not, then you are not contributing. If yes, then you are. I hope you get my message. Okay, so in the third part we will discuss about the analytical part. Okay, that would be the last part of journey to the end of the. Thank you, students.